How goes the family? Welcome back to Larry's Anything Goes. Hopefully, you guys are having a great day. I'm not going to be on too long tonight. I just wanted to talk and chop it up with everyone and see how everyone's doing today. Today's topic is based off of a conversation I had on Monday with a group of because I people I associate with on a regular basis are usually people that are in business, want to be in business, or they have a specific skill set that relates to business, whether it's a skill trade, whether it's finance background, legal, paralegals, lawyers, things of that nature. And one of the conversations I had with this one young lady and this actual gentleman, they stated, and I quote, the problem with yesterday's world, today's world, and tomorrow's world is that too many people want to assimilate and they don't really want to integrate. That's the best way for me to put it. They want too many people want to conform. Conformist mindset, and that's not really working. They want to just go off of what they've been told. That's not really working. So there's a multitude of things. Like I said, I can get into this, and and the thing is, it's not even just integrate. Most people don't want to accumulate. And when I talk about accumulating, I'm talking about not just money, but just accumulating more time for oneself, accumulating better relationships with oneself, accumulate more information from others and whatnot. I mean, because there's things that an attorney knows that I don't know. I can look up a specific law and whatnot on Google. However, I've not been trained to look and how I can counter measure or counteract that specific law, how it's been utilized in different cases and what the actual precedents it was utilized under, because I'm not a lawyer, so that's why you have to consult a lawyer when it comes to these things. When I'm buying real estate, a lot of times I depend on the expertise of the city, the county, or the actual inspector and whatnot. And then by me going on enough inspections, I'm able to accumulate a lot more information outside of me reading books, looking at YouTube videos, but getting that life experience. So I'm in the accumulation of that information and those experiences. That's another thing. Are you in the position of wanting to accumulate experiences? A lot of people are not, for the very simplest reasons is, and I've said this all the time, people love to be in their comfort zone. And in 2020 and beyond, the comfort zone is a death sentence. There's no other way to put it. All right. And if you're watching, please give it a like. Hopefully you're doing great. If you want to chime in, because it's a basic topic. Are you in the assimilation, or are you in the accumulation, or are you in both? A lot of people are both. Like I said, I come from the DMV area. If you don't know what that is, Washington, D.C., Maryland, Northern Virginia area. And you have a lot of people that are big on assimilation, meaning that they're big in the corporate structure, the government structure, the military structure, and there's nothing wrong with that. Nonprofit structure. A lot of people that move to this area, they work for an American Cross, other nonprofit organizations. There's thousands of them out there, or hundreds of them, at least within this area. There's hundreds of them out there in the DMV area that do a lot of great things in regards to ensuring that people that are in need get access to shelter, get access to food, get access to a clothing, get access to jobs, trades programs, sometimes even get access to capital and whatnot. Might be working with the Small Business Administration. It might be a nonprofit organization that's working in conjunction with them, working in conjunction with the state or county and whatnot. And these people are doing a lot of great things, phenomenal things. People that are in the military doing great, phenomenal things. People that are in the government, great, phenomenal things. People who are in corporate America doing great, and phenomenal things. I mean, hey, the platform I'm on, StreamYard, is allowing me to broadcast on Facebook and YouTube all at the same time. So, hey, that's a great corporate structure that's working with two other corporate structures that are allowing me to do what I'm doing right now, So, and that's just basically what I just explained right there. That's just a form of partnership and whatnot. And it's funny because I was talking to my brother, Chris. We was talking about this the other day on Sunday about people who, with a lot of great minds, put their pride, put their egos, and put to the side, and just to have a conversation. Doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to work with one another. Absolutely not. But just to have a conversation. And in that sense, they are accumulating a great relationship that who knows where it can transpire. And me and Chris talked about Tyler Perry, Spike Lee. I said Damon Dash. And I think I mentioned another person. But just read an article today that Tyler Perry's willing to overlook his I guess he had a certain issue with Spike Lee at one time. I know Spike Lee said something about his movies and whatnot, and I get it. I grew up watching Spike Lee movies, love those movies. A couple of Tyler Perry movies I like, most of them I don't care for, but that's my right to not like something. It's not a big deal. But I support what Tyler Perry does, no matter what. I don't have to like everything that you do to support you. That's the thing. And people need to understand that just because you don't like one aspect of something does not make you a hater. A hater is just like you just want to specifically, consistently try to look down upon what somebody's doing on a regular basis, like always giving negative feedback. Constructive criticism is a great thing. That's how we all grow as human beings. That's how we all grow as adults, even not only children, but adults. You can't grow in life if you don't get any sort of criticism. Okay. And a person like a Spike Lee and a Tyler Perry and a Damon Dash, I know they've gotten a multitude of constructive criticism, but they move on and they grow from that. They brush it off. They might take certain things into consideration and they go from there. But the fact that Tyler Perry was able to do that, I gotta, give him a round of applause. I like that because I want to see more people like Tyler Perry and Spike Lee working together. He's doing a lot of great things in the state of Georgia. I mean, I just read today, Rick Ross bought 81 acres in the state of Georgia. And it's like, and I put that on Facebook today, and I'll say it live right now. We need more African Americans owning things, period. It's great to see politicians, no matter what party they're in. It's great to see people who are got the nice high paid jobs. It's great to see people doing public service on any level, whether it's law enforcement, whether it's the military, paramedics, whatever. But ownership is the key in this country. It always has been and it always will be. And ownership is definitely the key right now. Okay. And we need more people who are in the accumulation culture instead of the assimilation culture. There's nothing wrong with being a person who goes to school, goes to the military, goes to law enforcement, gets a certified trade, gets a license in something, and doing great. There's nothing wrong with that. I'll never look down on people with jobs. I'm not a job shamer. Never have been, never will be. Okay. But I want to just see more. I don't expect, when it comes to jobs, it's always going to be at this level. Okay. Make sure it's going to be at this level. And when it comes to the owners, it's always going to be at this level. We know that. That's how capitalism works. That's fine. As far as more African Americans seeing them own stuff, that needs to be just a part of the agenda, no matter who is in office, like no matter what the case is, like people like a Rick Ross and a Jay Morrison, they're not worrying about who the president is. They're worrying about how they're going to maximize their profitability and how they can grow their businesses. That's what matters. Okay. We need more people with that mindset. You don't need people that just want to assimilate and teach the kids to assimilate. We need to see more people accumulating. Okay. Because the thing about rich people that a lot of people don't know, or a lot of people don't really pay attention to, that they know, but they don't really think about it or talk about it, is one, a lot of them have learned to love the government. And I'm going to get into that on another day, because they might pay a certain amount of taxes and fees. However, they get a lot back because they have a financial advisor that helps them to ensure that they don't pay a lot of taxes, or if you're like Jeff Bezos, any taxes. Okay. But there's a legal remedy a way for people to do that, so that's why a lot of rich people love the government, because they figured it out. And then a lot of times they get access to government capital, which is, they're like, hey, well, great example, the stimulus package that's supposed to get done and whatnot. The first one, a lot of corporations got a lot of money. And this one, a lot of corporations are expected to get more money. So a lot of people love the government in that aspect. Okay. And then a lot of times people move to a certain state, states like Nevada and Texas and Georgia and whatnot. The guy in Arizona, great tax breaks and whatnot for a lot of corporations. That's why they're going to move there. People, no state income tax. That's why. That's where everybody's going. A lot of, hey, I love California, love the West Coast, but if you're a state that has high income state taxes, and if you have a lot of crazy taxes, then people are just not going to move there. So you're going to continue to see a flood of people moving to the Southwest or to the South. Especially, most people don't like cold weather. So you're not going to see people jumping in line to say, I want to move to Michigan or Ohio or, Minnesota or whatnot. I mean, most people are just not a fan of a lot of snow, but some people are. I mean, hey, I know I'm not, but hey, some people are. But the moral of the story is, so you have a lot of people there's this big shift and whatnot. So with that being said, you have people that are, and the thing is, they're going to change in a sense, the culture of Texas and the culture of Nevada and whatnot, and other states are going to change because you got more people who have an accumulation mindset, just not more of an assimilation mindset, and that's going to be cool. And it's going to change their dynamics and whatnot because different perspectives and how they look at life is going to be different, and I think that's pretty cool. You know what I mean? And we need more people that are on the accumulation tip instead of the assimilation tip, because we've had enough people who assimilate, and that's just mediocre now. I'm going to say it. And there's nothing wrong with being mediocre, but don't think that, because especially, like I said, the DMV area is known for having people to look down on other people that are beautiful assimilators and whatnot, and not accumulators. Okay. And really accumulating is, like I said, accumulation of real property that cash flows, not just something you live in. Real businesses that cash flow, not just something you wish upon. Real relationships that don't just involve you talking about who won the football game and the basketball game. Like I said, nothing wrong with you loving that stuff, but if those conversations transition towards, hey, let's do business, let's have a discussion about XYZ later on, then hey, by all means, because a lot of times that's how a lot of business deals are done. Okay. Negotiations, things of that nature. This just needs to be the new norm. I can't really put it any other way. We need it to not only be the new norm, but we need it to be come in like a storm and just hit everybody's minds, everybody's families, household. There's just no other way to put it. And it's one thing I was saying to Chris, I think every family, and I quoted this from Dr. Royce Walker, every family should have somebody within that family needs to own a business on some level. One of the younger ladies I was talking to, she owns her own little side law firm in a sense. Plus other things that she owns and whatnot. She was talking about how, her teenage kids actually work for her. And, they actually, she's actually receiving more tax breaks because she has her kids and a couple of members of her family working for her, because she has a staff of about 10 people. Now, is it a lot more extra work? Obviously, yes. But the tax incentives and the breaks have grown tremendously. And she said she saved a significant amount of money ever since she left California and she moved to Nevada and whatnot. She lives in Las Vegas right now. Especially another thing with the big shift of people leaving certain areas is that with the stay-at-home economy, with more and more white-collar jobs going online, corporations are saving more money. And people are like, well, hey, if I don't have to live and I've said this before, if I don't have to live in this specific radius, why should I? If I can save more money by living in this state. So that's why I said that is one of the biggest economic shifts that are going on in the United States, no matter what happens with this election. And that's the conversation I don't think is happening enough, to be honest with you. Okay. And those people, if you're making a 6-figure salary and you live in Texas and you live in Nevada and whatnot, when I say 6-figure, I'm talking about over $100,000. So that means you're saving more money because you don't have the income state tax. Okay. So then that it shouldn't be, let me buy the brand new boat and the motorcycle and the Lexus or Cadillac and all that other crap. It should be, okay, well, I got an opportunity to save more money. Let me become a little bit more financially literate so I can not only set myself up in a better position, but if I have children, especially, I can set my children up in a better position or whatnot, because even if you want them to go to college, do you contribute money to a college fund on any level? That is a question. Do you put money away for that? Are you putting money away for the rainy day? Are you investing in stocks, bonds, gold, cryptocurrency, things of that nature? These are discussions that, we need to be having more and more, like I said, it needs to be a culture of knowing more about that than knowing more about sports and entertainment, period. Okay. Because more and more people in the sports arena and the entertainment arena, they're gaining income outside of their main job, quote unquote, like for the rappers, the singers, the rock stars, the country music, they're buying up real estate, they're buying up franchises. They're having bigger online platforms, especially due to COVID-19 than ever before. So they're figuring out other ways to have those multiple streams of income because they don't want, and most of the time they would just love to be able to make music or just act for fun. So they don't have to worry about paying bills. They could just put all that worrying about paying bills energy into something else that is actually going to give them more tax write-offs at the same time. These people, and I think that's why I love a city like LA, Las Vegas, Atlanta, and whatnot, because these are environments where the movers and the shakers move to be the people who think differently and whatnot, and think outside of the box, and love to be around other people that can execute and whatnot. And that same culture is being created in Austin, Texas. And I think that's a beautiful thing. That same culture is being created in Dallas, Texas. I think that's a beautiful thing. Okay, because you need that. You need the movers and the shakers. You need the people that think outside the box. You need the people that are not overly anything, just people who are willing to go in many different directions. And that's when the best ideas and the mindsets are created. That's when the best relationships are created, whether it's people getting involved in becoming couples, whether it's people that are actually on a regular basis conducting business with one another, being a part of a group that actually grows something and puts something in, and not just having no freaking fancy title on it. Titles mean, what is it? I haven't quoted Dynasty Samir in a long time, but I'm gonna quote him now. Dynasty Samir, if you ever check out his platform, it's called Search for Huru. Check it out on YouTube and Facebook. Great. Listen to the brother every day. He stated, and I quote, "Titles aren't sexy, income is." Titles aren't sexy, income is. And I couldn't agree with it more, because I've seen the person who looks like they just rolled in mud and whatnot, but the amount of money that they make on a regular basis outshines a lot of people who have a nice prestigious title 9 to 5 and whatnot. And the tax write-offs that they get from having a business outweighs, and the access that they have with one another outweighs. Community is everything. And I'm learning more and more of that every day. Relationships are everything. I'm learning more and more of that every day. The book by Dr. George Fraser, saying Success Runs in Our Race. I'm reading that now, and it's a very great book, and it's telling me a lot of great stories, especially people who had it way harder than me that are doing a lot of great things. So that's, at the end of the day, that's what matters. You know what I mean? That's where we need to be in regards to the future. Okay, when November's over with, when December gets here, when January gets here, what are your real plans? Let me know in the comment section. How do you want to become a better accumulator in 2021? Because the funny thing is, this number one city that's leading and being open right now, and without the chances of anything closing anytime soon, is Atlanta, Georgia. And that says a lot, because for a city like, and I get it with the COVID-19, everything is crazy, but I mean, you be realistic about it. Cities like LA, cities like Las Vegas, these cities need to be open, because this is how they make the bread and butter is made off of production happening, off of events happening, especially Las Vegas. Out of all cities, I can only imagine what Las Vegas is like. I've seen a couple of people go to Las Vegas right now, and it's a city I love. It's a city I'd retire in. And heck, it might be an alternative city because of what's going on or whatnot out there. But yeah, it's like it's insane to just think about a place like Las Vegas being closed and whatnot, or not even fully open. Like Atlanta is like the only fully open major city in the United States right now. I think Houston's somewhat behind them. And I get that a lot of other cities had to close back down because the rates of, unfortunately, it was stated that they were going up and whatnot, but I don't know how accurate that is. So I'm just saying it was stated within the news. But it's pretty crazy, because that city's still benefiting, from a financial standpoint, tremendously, because they're fully open. Because and because of that, found out more and more people are traveling there, because I get it. People want to go out and have a good time. It's not a crime. You know, it's like eventually you get tired of sitting in the house and looking at your cell phone. That gets and binging on social media. That really gets old after a while. I'd rather just pick up a book, to be honest with you. But that's all she wrote for the night, ladies and gentlemen. I definitely want to see more of us becoming accumulators and not just assimilators, because eventually assimilation is going to be, I'm not going to say that word, but assimilation is just going to put people in more positions to where they may need some sort of governmental financial assistance on some level, because, you know, the days of the single income earners are over with. All right. So we got to do what we have to do at the end of the day. Hopefully you guys tune in for tomorrow's Financial Monsters episode, part 2, 7:35 Eastern Standard Time, family. Gonna have Money Mike, gonna have my brother Chris, gonna have other brother Theodore White on there. Okay, it's gonna be real good conversation. A lot of good questions. And really, at the end of the day, it's just about us networking with each other, helping each other out, and shouting out each other's platforms. All right. So check out the online store. Do the great 3 free things: like, share, and subscribe. Hopefully, you guys have a great day. Thank you for watching. And as always, family, always make money moves. Take care.